Hi, my name is Carl Torrens. I'm a retired deputy warden out of New Mexico and Arizona. I spent 25 years inside the prisons, which allows me a little bit more of a cultural insight, what's going on in there, than some of the book experts and PhDs that talk about prison in their books and on television, but rarely have ever stepped a foot inside one of our adult prison systems, whether it be in New York, California, Arizona, or Colorado. So bear with me as I give you a short video today on stress and fear. Both are manageable, both are important to manage. Stress is something that we have to deal with on the job. We have no choice. Most of our stress as correctional officers comes from our supervisors. Supervisors that don't support us, supervisors that are ill prepared, ill trained, and poor decision makers. And because of this situation, I think that we take more upon our own shoulders, our own job, that we actually need to in order to get through the day safely. And I think that's what's partially creating some of the stress that you have that's building up inside of you while you're on the job. Now, stress needs to be managed and can be managed. Stress can be managed with family. Stress can be managed with friends. It can be managed with fitness and food. It can be managed with freedom, and it can be managed by feedback. Now, I left fear out because I want to talk about fear separately. First of all, let's talk about stress and the family. You don't talk about work at the dinner table. You don't talk about work when you go to the movies. You don't talk about work when you have company coming over to the house, even if they're friends. And that's why it's important to put those two together, yet separately. Family needs to put trust into you. They need to allow you to have the confidence that you need to go to work every day and make good decisions. Family has to trust you, and what you do is the most difficult job. On the other hand, you have to trust family that they support you, that they understand you, and that you got to watch your attitude, you got to watch your demeanor with family, because there's a big difference how you act on the job and how you act at home. Most of you already have caught this, but that's where feedback comes in a little bit later, okay? When it comes to family, family is your biggest ally in handling stress. Now, it seems weird because family also causes stress, but not to the degree that your job, if you bring it home. And we need to make sure you separate the job from the family. Friends, talk about your friends. Do you talk shop when you're with your friends? When you go to a bowling game or a football or a softball, you talk about shop, talk about work. You carry your phone around, talk about how things went the day before or the night before. Stop. When you choose your friends, talk about fun. Talk about doing things that have nothing to do with work. Now, venting is good. And social pages like Facebook, Twitter, they're short and sweet. But you can't talk about work inside those social pages, because the kind of work that you do is not something that we put on the web pages, first of all. And second of all, it's counterproductive. When you have stress built inside of you, when you get on a social page like Facebook, you might say or write things, or you might even post a picture that might be inappropriate in many different ways. So be careful. The way you handle stress and the way you deal with it on the web, on the internet, with family and friends is very important. Talk about fitness, talk about staying in shape, talking about going to the gym and letting your body exercise and circulate so that you have an ample supply of oxygen to get to the brain, to the heart, and keep you healthy. Now, fitness doesn't mean going out and running a marathon. Fitness doesn't mean going to the gym and working out with weights every day. Fitness means doing things and being active. Don't be a couch potato. Do things with the family, do things with your friend, but stay active. Activity is the best thing for you to combat stress. When you stay busy, you're lowering your stress level. Now, fitness and food go hand in hand. What you eat is what you become. The truth of the matter is, as a correctional officer, you have a big tendency to drink a lot of caffeine for energy. You run through the fast food drive-thrus a lot more than you should. And I'm speaking from experience here, because before you go to work and after you go to work, some of us work such odd hours, and you don't want to bother anybody at home and turn on the light in the kitchen to make something to eat, so you swing by and you get something to the drive-thru. But fast foods is not good and not healthy, and you eat what you become what you eat. And you know the rest of the story on that. So having said that, you need to eat wisely. You need to make sure that you eat fruits. You drink the kind of juices and the kind of drinks that are low in sugar, because you're already dealing with a lot of energy issues at work. On the other hand, you're working with a lot of complacency issues at work as well, meaning that things get bored sometimes. So when fitness benefits you the most, it's when you have a sedentary kind of job, you don't move around much, and then when you get off and you walk out that gate and done your 8, now it's time for you to exercise and get back into a healthy state of mind, which means body, spirit, and of course, getting things going. Freedom. When you're off the job, enjoy your freedom. Move about, go somewhere, enjoy nature, go hiking, breathe fresh air. Get out of there, because you and I both know, working inside of prisons, you get the stale air, you get that smelly, dirty sock smell in your nose every day that you're in there. I mean, prisons stink. No bottom line on that. They just stink. They have stale air. They have the kind of an environment that makes you confined and cooped up. And yes, we can go home, and we know what we're talking about. But freedom gives you a chance to kind of like spread out and be yourself a little bit without the feeling that you're stuck between 4 walls and high razor wire. And you know what I'm talking about, when that gate closes behind you and you hear that slam and you know you're stuck in there for 8 hours or more, you lose your freedom as well. You lose your ability to move around as well. So freedom is an important part. Take advantage of freedom. Go out as much as you can. If you don't go out and you stay home, do a meaningful activity. Sometimes we can get onto the TV and we can hook up the Wi-Fi and we can exercise and we can dance with our kids, or we can play our games. Exercising the mind and the body is one of the best ways of dealing with stress. Now, fear. Stress and fear are manageable. Stress and fear go hand in hand. We don't like to admit that we're scared sometimes, but in the back of our head, every day we come in, we worry about whether this is going to be my 8, or whether I'm going to get hurt, or whether your buddy's going to get hurt, or whether things are going to go bad. Even though we don't talk about it, it's implanted in the back of your head. So fear is something you need to manage. When you manage fear, you have to do it in steps. You take on the lesser challenging obstacles first. You build your confidence, you make better decisions, and you go on and you end up taking the plunge, knowing that everything you've done, you're capable of handling, and everything that you fear is likely not to happen, because your awareness, your alertness, and your ability to deal with the situations on scene within the environment, and in reality, something that can be managed all the time, okay, it's not worth the amount of fear that we give it sometimes. But fear is a good way of staying honest and being aware of where you're at during the time that you're on the job. Remember that stress and fear go hand in hand, and fear, we always are in denial of fear. We never admit that fear plays a part in our decision making and in our way that we cope with things, but it's there. So handling stress, stay fit, eat good, exercise, enjoy friends and family, enjoy your time with the family, get feedback, ask your family, ask your friends, have I changed? Am I doing something different that I didn't do before I started this job? Has the job taken over and has it changed me? Feedback is very important. Feedback is what keeps you honest. If you know who you are at all times, you can adjust along the way. And by doing that, you're managing your stress and you're managing your fear. Thank you for watching this video. Be safe, enjoy your career, enjoy your success, And I wish you well. Bye-bye.